All right, so I'm here with Jillian, and today we're going to be working on our Star One dance elements. We've been working on this for a little bit now, so this is more retaining the information that we have before. So before we start with our forward progressives, I want to start over on the boards, and we're going to practice just getting on our proper edges when we're doing our progressives. So I want you to, we're first going to face this way, and we're going to start with our right forward progressive. We're gonna go right, make sure you push onto your outside. When you switch, you go on your left inside, then you step and go on your right outside. And make sure you lean a little bit more into the circle so that instead of your progressives going straight across, they're gonna be going over and following the circle. So let's just try to flip it here on the spot here. Right, left, right. That's pretty good to start off with. What you want to try and do is just push a little bit more to the towards your right side, so that they really see that you're on a outside instead of, if you sometimes step straight down, it gets kind of flat a little bit. So you want to make sure you're pressing to an outside, then you switch to that inside, you're going to press to an inside, then press to an inside. Okay?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you're right. Keep working on holding onto the board so that you can really push, feeling yourself going into the outside edge here. So push one more time. Right, left, right. Okay, just watch that the last one at the very end. Sort of press a little bit on the inside. Just make sure it's still pressing the outside. The only way to really feel when you're on your outside is if you can feel it in your boot. Usually when most people are doing their progressive, it's really flat. So you want to make sure that you're pushing over onto that outside, inside, outside for that progressive. Try one more here and then we'll get some stuff in circle. Right, left, right. Okay, let's try one on the circle now. So this time we're going to try and we'll take it a little bit slow for this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right, left, right. Just progressive. Make sure you just feel that you're on the proper edges when you're doing it. Right, left, right, right. Okay. Just one thing you want to make sure you remember is when you're moving your shoulders, you want to make sure that your shoulders sort of go forward a little bit into the circle. You're going around, so if I demonstrate here, right, left, right. My right arm is back, my left arm is in front, along the circle where I don't want it to be going straight to the side. Otherwise, if you're trying to get one arm out, it makes it difficult to stay on that circle. Okay, so I'm just going to come around the side. One thing I noticed when you did your one progressive, it sort of reached a little bit too far out in front of you. So when you do your progressives, you want to make sure that your feet stay a bit close together so that if you don't do your left step, when you step out, then you start to lose your balance and you'll flip yourself off that edge. So that's why you want to try and keep your feet close, close, close to your progressive. Don't step too far out. Let's try one more on this one. We'll hold your hand on that. Here we go. Right, left, right. Left, right. Okay. Alright, so now let's flip over to our other end now. So we're going to do our left foot. Exact same thing what we want to feel with our legs. You want to make sure you're pushing down, extend your left arm, reach behind, the right arm's going to be in front, directly where you want to go. Step onto your left outside, right inside, left outside. Do these progressives. Okay? Left, right inside, left outside. Okay. So also make sure when you run your arm, you want to make sure that your arm, you've got one arm back, one on the front of the side already. But you want to make sure half of this is your arm staying down. Make sure sure they don't get up too high. We've had this before when we do it the depth so far, where the arms start to get up really high. That's when you start to lose your balance and get off your feet. Keep your arms one spot. They're on top of like a table. You're pressing it down on a table in front. You're pressing it down on a table behind. You want to make sure that they stay there. They don't move up and down. You're crossing something. Okay, let's try another one. Roll it for a minute. There you go. Try pressing a little bit more on that inside on your right foot. Okay. So just one more thing just on that progressive there. You want to make sure that when you come around to switch onto that right inside, that your foot doesn't get too far away from you. So it's about trying to keep your feet close together. If the feet start getting further, like you said with the first progressive, right? If you step too far out, then you start to lose your balance. You don't want to also let your sled circle too far around. You want to make sure that comes in front. Make sure you go left. You're going through that progressive. Just make sure it doesn't circle. Let's try one more, and then we'll make sure that not only you push onto whatever edge you're going on, you're outside or you're inside, bend down in your knees a little bit more so that you'll be able to feel those edges. It's difficult because I can lean over to the side and be really upright, but it won't get me very far. I'm going to take my progressive. So if you bend down and then lean over, you'll be able to get more speed and more power than around the circle, and it'll be easier to keep multiple progressives going again and again. So if we go like a couple, like I know right now we've got the one progressive and a weight and another progressive. What we want to eventually get to is progressive, progressive, progressive without any 2-foot weights in it. But yeah, that's very good so far. So now we are going to be moving on to our swing rolls. So this is another thing where you want to feel where your edges are, right? So we're going to go back on the boards again. We're going to try swing roll. And what you want to make sure that you do is you're pressing out. We're going to start with our right outside swing roll. You're going to press out on your outside edge. And then when you swing that foot through, you're going to rise up. Make sure we don't rise up too high. This is another thing that we had before, where if you rise up too high, and you flip right off your edge. So you want to make sure that you're going to rise up, but don't rise up too high. You want to keep it down a little bit closer. Balance it out between your legs, right? Okay, so let's try another one on the boards. Right, okay. So just make sure on our right foot, same thing that we kind of have with our progressive, just push a little bit more out to that outside. Swing, roll, keep that foot a little bit lower. I like the leg position right now. It points out pretty well, and it's not as high as we had it before, so just make sure you keep it close to the ice. You rise up, but you stay on that outside, right? Okay. Roll, make sure you rise up. Roll, press the hold, press a bit more to that right outside. So now let's take it onto our, oh no, sorry, we got to do our other foot. So let's try our other foot. So we're going to head the other way. Same thing, we're going to press onto our left. We're going to press onto our left outside. Swing, roll, same thing as we had before. You're pressing onto your outside, your leg is coming up, and you're coming up in your knee, but make sure that you don't rise too much. Okay. Swing. Make sure you don't rise up too much. Swing, roll, right, swing, roll. Press a little bit more out to that left outside. Right now it's sort of falling in a little bit. Swing, roll. Right, try one on our line down here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to come through here. We're going to start with our left foot, and we're just going to be doing low back and forth, doing a big long, sort of like an S pattern. So you're going to go back and forth, all the way down the line, and you're going to be alternating your feet when you get to the line. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to start on left foot. Make sure you press on that outside, swing together, and then when you get to the line, what we're going to do is we're going to go stop first, and then we can switch. So, swing, roll, stop, wait, and then we can switch onto our right foot, swing, roll, stop, wait. It's just that we feel what our proper edges are. Let's try this one. There we go, left, swing. Okay, just one thing I wanted to fix over on your right sternum. Make sure that it's the same thing that we kind of had when we did our progressive. That your foot, you don't want to let it circle around. Same thing that we got here. So when you're doing your swing roll, you want to make sure that your foot doesn't circle around. Okay. From behind to in front. It's not getting away and back. Okay. Straight through, straight back. So if I do it here, left outside, roll, stop. You want to make sure it goes straight through. Make sure you have your toe pointed down. Swing, roll. That's better. Stop. Yeah, there you go. Try this out. Swing, roll, stop. Okay. Just with this left foot here, make sure that when you step to do any of these isolations for the swing rolls, you want to make sure that you don't do a toe push going into it. So make sure your feet, you've got your L position or T position from the foot, and you want to make sure that you push off the side, off the toe, and then pushing off the toe. Even if these are isolations, because once we get to other stuff like having to repeat it without doing these stops or eventually getting to the bench walks, you want to make sure that they stay like this and not toe pushing through. So let's try this foot one more time. Just your right foot, yeah. Yeah, right, right outside, swing, stop. Just watch your arms. Sometimes when your leg can't do that time, your arms sort of come up. I've had that before. So just make sure you step on your L position, step, push, swing. Only thing that's going to be rising up is the leg. So now let's get back to our beginning, and we're going to do repeats this time. So what's going to happen is, instead of doing our stop routine, swing, roll, switch, swing, roll, switch, swing, roll, switch. And we'll just keep that going all the way till we get to the chorus of the back, right? Make sure when you place that foot down, switch to your other foot, that you don't step out in front of you. So if I'm doing against here, if I'm going to go on this way, right, swing together, left, swing together. You don't want to do, when you did yours, you did a swing and then stepped in front. That's where your upper body starts to fall forward, and you lose what edge you're on, and you lose your upper body quality on it. You got to make sure you're coming right there. I'm just going to be here. My left foot. Swing, roll, bring it together, and then roll together, and then switch right. Let's try one from down here. So let us start with our right foot first. Right? Oh, no, that's left foot. Okay, right. Yeah. Right foot, right, swing, make sure it comes all the way back to the leg. pretty well. What you're doing so far, you just got to make sure for next steps when we're working on this stuff is to just make sure you want to keep your feet close together. Make sure that you have sort of a mental reset before you do another one of your either swing rolls or your progressives. So you bring your feet back together, reset, and then step out again. You don't want to continue one. If you step out, usually the next one starts getting worse, and then your upper body goes out, your leg bend goes out, and all your edges go out. So you just want to make sure you have like a reset, bring it together, and then step forward. Also make sure with the upper body, like we talked about, so anything that you're doing with your lower body, hips down to your toes, you want to make sure that stays, that's doing its own thing. Your upper body will move, will not move at all. Hips to head, top of head. That's just going to stay completely still. Legs, only thing you're rising, bend, rise with your swing roll. And then same thing on the progressives. Even though you're switching legs, if I just took a shot from your hips to the top of your head, that's staying exactly the same. We have our arm position. Keep practicing stuff on the boards to get your edge position. So just pushing into your edges, outside, inside, all that stuff. You can do a bunch of different edge work, such as like just 2 foot edges, really bending into your knees, pushing, and then just doing stuff just standing still, leaning exercises to feel outside, inside edges, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, good job. So next time we'll just keep working on trying to get this a bit more, combining all the steps together, and then eventually getting to the Dutch waltz. Good job though, all right? Woo!